All right, it's 3 o'clock on a Monday. Welcome aboard the Postgame show. Alongside Terry Ford, I'm Jay Phillips. Lots to get to on today's program. I don't know where I'll start. I got a few notes here, but I have a hunch that I veer from them from time to time. We'll see. We do have other news that broke today when it comes to the Southeastern Conference football scheduling future. So I am almost glad we get to talk about that for at least a couple of minutes, if only to distract from some of the other things that are going on around here.
What other things are going on around here?
Yeah, well, I was going to talk about the Broncos loss, but I'll do that later. Now, listen, you want the good news or the bad news, right? I'm a bad news first kind of guy. So when it comes to South Carolina the other night, and at least for the season, let's start with the obvious. You can't run the ball. And that only becomes more problematic as you become more one-dimensional, because not only can you not run the ball with your running backs, but basically teams are now going to force Lenoris Sellers to win games for South Carolina through the air. Now, he did well the other night. There's some sacks that he's got to not take, and that's been something this season in really every game so far. But, y'all, there's a 294-yard rush disparity in Saturday's game. 294 yards in a game. In a game. It's the lowest output South Carolina's had, which is a negative number, since 1981. And if I remember correctly, because I'm old, somebody help me out, but I believe South Carolina and Pittsburgh were on national television that day. And the game got so out of hand that they moved it to another game and then had to apologize for moving the game and then gave Carolina another game. If I'm wrong about that, if I have something different in my head, somebody hit me up and let me know. 294-yard rush disparity. South Carolina committed 14 penalties on Saturday night. 7 of them were procedural. Mostly motion on the offense, a couple of offsides on the defense. Penalties are going to happen. But the ones you can control, you've got to cut down on. And so far, South Carolina's been penalized a lot this year. South Carolina is now showing that, in a stark contrast to the majority of last season, you are not fundamentally sound on defense. Missing too many tackles, having coaches and players admit that they're not in position, taking the wrong angles, whatever the approach is. But you aren't fundamentally sound there. Now, why? Maybe it's because some of those veteran guys that you didn't have last year haven't been directly replaced with experienced guys who just understand what's up. And you have other coaches taking advantage of that. Certainly Vanderbilt and Missouri. And South Carolina at times does not seem confident when the play is there. And that's another one that I just don't quite grasp. And here's something else for all of the things that I just told you. Shane Beamer echoed every single one of them in his post-game press conference up in Columbia, Missouri, Saturday night. So they're fully aware of who they are and who they aren't. And I know the question that all of you ask is, what are they doing about it? Because this is now a refrain that we've had for a couple of weeks. Hey, South Carolina football, you aren't going to beat anybody else if you don't fix the problems that you have and that you can control. And thus far, they haven't. They just haven't. And that's, again, only going to be more problematic. I told Terry earlier, this is going to be the third consecutive week where you've got a coaching staff licking their chops to play their brand of football and go beat you. I'm not predicting this, and I do think South Carolina will win the game this Saturday against Kentucky. But Mark Stoops is going, hey, we can win this game 13-10. We can keep this thing ugly. I promise you. That's all I got to do, boys. Keep it ugly. Keep it ugly. So there's the bad news. There's the bad news. The good, in spite of all that bad news, until about 5 minutes to go, South Carolina was in this game on the road against a really good football team. You were there. You had your moments. You had your opportunities. Sadly, you went 3 and out twice in the fourth quarter. That's not good. But you had your chance. You were still in it. I don't know how much of a silver lining that is. It might be more of a stainless steel lining. We've seen that Lenoris can make some really big-time throws. And that's a positive because that was one of the things that we know he was wanting to work on and everybody was talking about that, hey, we know what he can do with his legs and we know he's got arm talent. You got to harness all those things. He had over 300 yards passing. Kept Carolina in the game at times, but also made some key mistakes. But he is getting better through the air. There's no question of that. More good news, if you will. Still a long way to go. Last year, when Carolina was sitting on a second, third loss, you found a way to turn it around. So you have seen evidence that this head coach and the majority of the staff that he currently employs have found ways to fix it and get it moving in the right direction. Doesn't mean they will, but it means they have, and it means they can. They can fix what's wrong. But if they don't, it won't matter. There are times when Lenore Sellers is taking sacks for what I believe are, if you will, I'm going to air quote, good reasons. He's doing everything he can to go through those progressions. But the one thing that we all have seen, whether it was the safety against Virginia Tech or the just terrible play on 1st and goal the other night, you got to get that ball out. You got to throw it into the 3rd row of the stands, the 30th row of the stands, throw it to your assistant coach. I don't care. You got to get rid of it. And Faison on that same play, bro, you got to block. Got to block. It's not a lost cause, Terry Ford. It's not. But we're all going to get tired of saying the same thing. If you don't fix you first, it will not matter who you're playing. They'll exploit what you can't and don't do, and they'll win the football game, not you.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to make tackles. You've got to stop your pre-snap penalties. When plays are there to be made, you have to make them. There are little plays through this entire game that if South Carolina makes half of them, maybe it's a different football game.
Yeah.
Obviously, you brought it up, and yeah, I mean, the play of the game, this might be my new thing, the play of the game. I did it in the Vandy game with the interception, how it changed all the momentum, right? Well, let's go to that 1st and goal at the 2. You can make it a 2-score game, Jay Phillips. And that changes the entire complexion, possibly, of where everything goes. Faison, my man, stick your head in there. You got to pick up the pass rusher. And Lenoris, like you said, chuck that thing into the parking lot.
Wherever.
You got to do whatever you got to do. And obviously you don't want a grounding, but you got to get rid of that ball. You cannot take a 13-yard sack. And then you get a holding call.
Yeah.
And it was just like that. Like here, I'll give you an example. Two plays early in the game that would have mattered. On the 99-yard touchdown drive, the first play from the 1, Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy breaks through, beats the offensive lineman, has Roberts dead to rights for a safety, misses the tackle. On that same drive, Hardy breaks free for a 27, 28-yard run. Murphy had him dead to rights in the backfield, missed the tackle. Obviously, the throw on the first possession where Sellers and Mazio Bennett couldn't hook up, whether it's Sellers just missed him, and it happens. Bennett didn't track it. It happens. But that's a wide-open walk-in touchdown if you can complete it.
Yep.
Now, Lenoris was really good throwing the deep ball. He's 5 of 10.
Yeah.
That is a phenomenal percentage throwing the ball over 20 yards. But I guarantee you, if you looked at him, you said, I'd love to have that one back, man.
Yeah.
Because you do. There are plays in this game, and just half of them, Jay, just if you get half of them, it could have been different. And here's the thing. It's true. 14 penalties. Come on, man. Pre-snap stuff. Was it Peyton Williams? Who lined up offsides defensively that was almost lining up in the Missouri backfield and got the in the first half and got the offsides penalty? Just some of the stuff on that last drive. You get unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
And
again, that's
all these things.
containing yourself.
All these things happen, Jay. 14 penalties, minus 144,000 yards rushing. We can go over all the things that went wrong. You went to the fourth quarter with a lead.
Right.
Run that through your skull real quick.
And with 5 minutes to go, you're still only down 6.
If you, again, your defense, for as many problems as it had, gave you the ball twice in the fourth quarter, and you had a chance to go down and take the lead, and you went 3 and out. And again, Lenore there missed the ball. It was just a throw he'd love to have back.
Yes.
2 different times. But then, God love your defense on that third one. You just couldn't get the stop, and Missouri kicks the field goal. It's game over. We talked about Keys Friday. For me, it was the Missouri run game against the South Carolina run defense. We obviously saw who won that. Special teams, when Missouri misses a point after, I'm like, hey, it could be a factor here, baby.
Told my wife that. I was like, those 1 points always seem to find a way.
But not this time. So, look, all the bad we're going to get to a ton because that's the bad. That's why you lost. Lenore's made some pro throws, man. Without Lenore Sellers slinging the rock around the way he did, this game is a blowout.
Right.
And yes, like any quarterback, you want a few back. You do. But that dude spun it all over the place. And he made some really nice throws. The pro scouts wearing drool cups watching that stuff. So, and Lenore's threw for 302. And look, and we'll get into more of this later on the show, you saw as soon as he leaves the pocket, they got spies everywhere, man. I mean, it's crazy. It's like Get Smart, old reference novels from we were kids. I mean, there were spies everywhere on him.
Don't worry,
Missouri,
you and I are the only one.
the only two that know this, and Ed Bird before he left. But I mean, they had multiple spies on Sellers when he broke contain and broke pass rush. So you see what teams are doing. Now you got to combat it. You guys are making all the money. You got to combat it, right?
Right.
So we see the things that are being done to stop Lenore Sellers. We're watching this, and all this comes together to say, despite all this, you were in this football game to the very end, and you had your chances. And like you said, you got to fix you. Mm-hmm. Forget everything else. You know what else you got to do now? All the preseason talk and the hype about this, that, and the other, and look at the schedule. You know what matters now? Beat Kentucky.
Sure.
That's all that matters now. Nothing else matters. Looking down the road on the schedule doesn't matter. Trying to pick this and that doesn't matter. Look at this and look at that. Just let's simplify all of it now, Jay. Go beat Kentucky. Because you should. You better.
South Carolina has opened as a 6.5-point favorite according to ESPN Bet. Mm-hmm. Hasn't moved today.
You got to win this football game.
And then I think you have a week off, right?
Yep. And then you come back and go to Death Valley in Baton Rouge.
Here's an opportunity. Win a home game at night, which you clamor for and have gotten a bunch of. Mm-hmm. And against a team you should beat.
Starting their backup quarterback.
And then start to fix yourself in the off week and really try to, I mean, you need to start to fix yourself.
Well, now, as you were, right, exactly.
But, you do have an opportunity here. So, again, we've seen this movie before, and we've seen it end better than we might have hoped. But I do feel like there's something a little bit different at play here when it comes to who this South Carolina team has shown us to be. Let's hear from you guys. 803-404-6100. 803-404-6100 on the AAA phone lines, Firehouse Subs, text line. You can hit us on Twitter. Got a poll question running about the scheduling format. That's a separate story. And we do need to update you. I don't want to wait till 5 o'clock. Massive breaking news today in the world of SEC basketball. So we've got a lot to get to. But primarily, reaction to Carolina falling at Mizzou. It's the Monday Reaction postgame show. Love telling you about our good friends at Cato's Power Equipment. I was using my power equipment from Cato's this weekend. Y'all, this Flex Force blower that I've got from Toro that I got at Cato's. For years I wanted like a big backpack blower, but I didn't want the hassle of the motor and filling it up with gas and oil. And what if it goes wrong? So I never got one. And then Ben and Matt were like, you need to try one of these. Just see. I tried it in the store. Probably not the best idea, but that was their idea, not mine. It is as powerful as a backpack blower. And the battery will go, I don't know, hour and a half, easy. So great stuff at Cato's. Fall is a great time to get in there and see them, whether it's cutting the grass, trimming the yard, blowing the leaves and the straw all over the place. 4012 West Beltline Boulevard. And learn more about great specials and everything else going on at catospowerequipment.com. Twenty minutes after 3 o'clock on this Reaction Monday. Welcome back in. Jay Phillips, Terry Ford. Jalen Tart is at Master Control. Wherever you might be, appreciate you being with us. Lots to get to. Remind you, looking ahead to tomorrow, Shane Beamer press conference at 1 o'clock. It's Brews Day on a Tuesday, so Ryan will be here with us in this 3 o'clock hour with sage wisdom. He's now a year older. His birthday was the day after he was here last week.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, he's really old.
I asked him if he was 60. He said he's not.
He's not?
He said it feels like it.
I bet. I bet. Jeez.
But I can't get too much into that because I'm older than he is.
You guys are old.
And I'm not 60.
You two are old, man.
Yep. Feel it every day.
Man, I'm not looking forward to getting as old as you dudes.
I believe you. Unfortunately, you have already crossed that line. Casey is going to get us started on this Reaction Monday.
Casey.
Casey, how you doing, bud?
How you doing, bud?
What's going on, Jay and Terry?
Doing all right, man.
Hey, but Jay gonna always speak in preacher mode and be honest and modest. Terry gonna keep it street. Terry, I like the way you laid things down, 'cause I was thinking the same thing you was thinking when they was in that goal line. And they went play action. Run the ball. When you're that close, run the ball. Yeah, Illinois should have threw it away. But that reminded me, I seen a lot of Carolina Panthers offense Saturday night. The ball that was dropped when the wide receiver was wide open and old boy dropped the pass, that was Cam Newton throwing it to the boy out of Ohio State that used to drop the long passes. The double stream pass, I seen a lot of Carolina Panthers offense Saturday. Like he opened the playbook up a little more. But I think if we would have scored down there on that goal line, that would have changed a lot. It would have changed the mistakes. It would have changed the flags. It would have changed the morality of the team. And I think the offense is kind of overthinking it, and they just need to get in the rhythm. And the running back out of Missouri, he just that good. All I seen was probably the first running back that's going to be taken off the board next draft, because I think he's a sophomore.
Yeah, he's a sophomore. Yep.
Yeah. But, like I say, I'm glad it's football season. These kids are learning, and this is just going to be a journey for them next year. Because I don't think Lenoir's going nowhere. I think he's really want to compete for a national championship. But like I said, I've seen a lot of the NFL offense running, especially that play action at the goal line. Only NFL teams could do that because they got the offensive lineman that can hold up for the play action and find a pass. But, we lost. We just got, like y'all said, we got to just go beat Kentucky and build up after that. That's all.
I appreciate
you, Casey. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Good call. You put a lot into that. Something you and I talked about, it does seem like there's a lot of pro set and pro style play calling.
There's some elements, elements.
Which is fine in and of itself, but are you good at executing those things?
Right.
That's a question.
And, at the goal line, that play action, and you and I were yipping about this on the phone. Again, I'm not a play caller, but I would, if I can't run the ball, in case there's like run it, and I don't disagree with that. Conceivably you should be able to go on 4 attempts at the 2-yard line, be able to score, but you can't run the ball. You're losing the line of scrimmage. Matter of fact, they're resetting the line of scrimmage in your huddle, right?
Right.
I would have rolled Lenoir's out. Give him some space. Give him a pass run option. Have him put stress on the defense, and I just think you need to move him more.
I agree.
In play action, I was going over the numbers with you. Lenoir's is really good at play action. In that game against Missouri, he was 7 for 8. I would get him out in space to where he has that run-pass option, move him a little bit, move the pocket, roll him out. That bootleg pass to the tight end has worked especially in that situation. If you can't run the ball, you've got to put the fear in their mind.
Yeah, you've got to do something to keep them all, because they weren't. And I think you just hit it, and that's what concerns me moving forward, and that's why I say about even Mark Stoops this weekend. You're not scaring an opposing defense right now. You're not. You're not. They know you can only do so much. And until you prove to them, or at least, I hate this word, but disguise some of the things that you can do, or figure a way to trick them a little bit, this is big boy football, and all you got now is big boy football the rest of the way. That's it. I mean, other than Coastal, who can play some good football against you. But my point is, you got all your conference games in front of you now. 6 in a row, 6 left. Yeah, and whatever Clemson may or may not be doing, they're still Clemson.
Yeah.
So anyway, Casey hits on a couple of things here. Casey, I'll disagree with you about Lenoris. Look, it's going to depend on what Lenoris hears, but I'm not so sure about that. And let me say too, and I know Casey, you what you mean, but when you say, hey, this will only help these guys for next year, nah, man, not yet. Not yet. There's 8 games left.
Right, and
there's 8. You're being talked about a lot for now. You need to deliver now. Again, I understand what he means. There's still listen, part of it is always growth and
because you do
learning.
have a percentage of these guys who are freshmen, first-year starters, whatever.
I do, and I understand what he means.
Sure,
but that 99 of 100 fans will be like, bro, not next year. Now
I'll tell you this, and look, Casey, I'd love to see you be right. Lenore Sellers wants to come back for another year. Pete Thamel did a little survey of, I think it was 25 personnel guys from 25 teams. With 8 of them, and this was the number 1 guy.
8 for him. They said, 7 for Nussmeier.
They said Lenore Sellers would be their first quarterback. They would take off the board. I think unless something drastically changes, Lenore Sellers will be done after this year, and he'll be a first-round pick in the NFL draft.
Well, you almost think that the thing that would change would be
he's playing awful and he has to come back, right?
That he's not projected to be.
If he's playing well, he's leaving. See, that's the catch-22 you fall into, right, Jay?
Yeah.
With this, you want him to come back because you want him to play another year at Carolina, but the only way he's coming back is if all of a sudden he's falling out of the first round, and that would be because his play has knocked him out of the first round.
Pete talked to 25 guys, 8 for Lenoris, 7 said Nussmeier, 3 said Beck and Mateer each, 3 each said Beck and Mateer, 2 said Drew Aller, Sam Levitt and Arch Manning each got vote.
Boy, think about Arch. Went from some of that stuff to vote.
Well, it's not his fault.
I mean, he does throw.
Well, he has to
passes.
play, but he shouldn't have ever been.
No, should have been. No, I agree. I don't disagree with that. I thought that stuff was crazy. You and I were that hype train was ridiculous. Again, if his last name was Phillips Ford, Tart.
Yeah, let him just go.
It wouldn't work.
Let him play football.
So going back to that point, Casey, I'd love to see Lenore Sellers come back. I just find it highly doubtful that he will, if he continues to play at a certain level all year long, despite what happens around him, he'll end up being a first-round pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, I would not count on that.
No.
And I would not, again, tell yourself he's gone. If he goes back, hey, yeah.
Fantastic. Be great.
But, and again, you can't be thinking, at least you can't be focusing on continuing to develop these guys for 2026.
Right.
You've got 8 games left, plus a bowl game, and you need to make a bowl game.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
And not just a bowl game. Again, that's not just this whole 6-6 thing.
You don't think the Gasparilla Bowl would be a big yahoo in the fan base?
Or the mayonnaise bowl.
The mayonnaise thing?
I like Duke's mayonnaise.
The Dukes, yeah.
I like Duke's mayonnaise.
Yeah, it's probably not what everybody envisioned when the season started.
No, they did not. All right. Plenty more calls to get to. 803-404-6100. It's Reaction Monday on the Postgame Show. All right, 25 minutes in front of 4 o'clock here on this Monday. Welcome back in. Jay, Terry, Jalen hanging out in the Herndon Chevy studios. Appreciate you being with us. Full bank of phone calls. Where am I going next? John is up wanting to talk Carolina, Mizzou, and more. Hey, John.
Hey, John.
What's going on, guys?
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Love listening.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
The little pre-talk you had there, Jay. I really enjoyed that. Just to set the stage real quick, and I'll be quick here, but I've been around this thing a long time, man. I'm one of the guys that helped JC. We started the Big Spur together, so I've been pretty close to Team No Shame extremely well. And just sitting there the other night, I got so frustrated. I was like, man, I wish I could just call Shane and say, dude, listen, slide Sean over to Coach Elliott over to the line, call my boy GA because he's in town, get him to come throw some plays. And I've never seen anything like this, Jay. It's amazing to me, the running game and the calls, and going back a couple of games, just running up the middle. I mean, the one time they put Fuller in, I don't know if you guys remember, man, he got a few. The guy's big. I mean, he looked great running the ball. And I'm like, I just don't understand. I just don't get it. They got to do so. There's got to be something to happen that gets these guys going. And I tell you what I've kind of come up with, and I'm interested in both of y'all's opinion on this. I just think that NIL has killed this game. I don't see and I'm not saying the guys don't care and they don't play hard, but you just don't see as much fire. A lot of just kind of blasé. It just is frustrating. And you can tell I'm the guy that's never frustrating. JC would laugh if he heard me saying this. He would say, dude, you're the most garnet-colored glass guy in the world. But I'm frustrated the not wrapping up and tackling. Don't get me wrong, that guy's a load. But guys, you got to get to the ball. You got to go tackle. You got to do something. But unless a change is made, they got to do something drastic. And if they don't, man, I'm just scared. We're in for a long season.
Well, it could be on that one, and they do have to check. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Look, NIL has altered things. I don't know how much fire it has taken from people. I think one of the things when Shane recruits, he is looking for that particular type of person. South Carolina knows it is not some schools, in terms of what it can do for everybody. They're going to do all they can, and that's great. So I get it. I don't think that's personally, John. I don't believe that's South Carolina's problem. It's not that NIL is causing guys here at least. Look, I think you nailed it on, John, what it is, and I wrote this down today because I don't know the answer, by the way. But I said, what are the coaching roles on offense? And then I put question marks by Sean, Lonnie, Markel, and Shula. I think the only one that you can basically say is clearly defined right now is what Mike Furry's doing with his receivers. And then to a lesser degree, but certainly one that matters, what Mike is doing directly with Lenore Sellers and the quarterbacks. But I don't know where Sean's input starts and stops when it comes to blocking schemes, when it comes to run schemes. Like we said, it certainly feels like there's more of a pro-style feel to the offense when it comes to the run game, and you're not able to do. And if the Vandy game wasn't enough of a wake-up call, then what the hell was Saturday? Again, your worst rushing output at a school that has had its flashes. But as someone who has been going to games routinely since Jeff Grants was quarterback, to tell me that is this program's worst rushing output since the year after George Rogers left? I mean, to me, you got to figure that part out
And we have to start with the offensive line. I mean, that's where this whole thing starts, right? It doesn't matter. You could have George Rogers back there right now, and my man's getting the ball, and five guys are standing there doing rock, paper, scissors to see who wants to hit him first because you got nowhere to run, right?
At least he'll drag three of them with him.
He'll pick up a few yards, right? It's just the idea that...
Still see that play down in Tallahassee one year. Like, they got the whole team on his back, and he's still running.
He's still going. Well, maybe second thought. Maybe he is the answer here. It's just the idea that the offensive line. I know you had some injuries. Your two best offensive linemen were out of this game by the time, second series.
Kaysen was done.
He had one snap, I think it was, and Ball was out. So you're missing your two best offensive linemen, and you tried some different combinations and things of that nature. But still, this has been an issue all year. it just didn't rear its ugly head against Missouri, right? It just was like the wow against Missouri. You got to figure this out. We read that post in the Big Spur last week that that coach that scouted South Carolina after the Vandy game and scouted the 3 games said this is not Coach Elliott's offense run structure
from 15 years.
This is not the run game he ran at South Carolina. It's not the run game he ran at Georgia State. So is Coach Elliott the run game coordinator for Mike Shula's run offense? Is that what's going on? Because if this isn't Elliott's, or if this is not what Elliott typically has done in a run game, then it's not his run game.
Right.
So what's going on there? Up front, what is going on? Why? I mean, I was rewatching as much as I could today. Missouri reset the line of scrimmage constantly in the South Carolina backfield. Why? What's going on here? Why? I mean, you've got Josiah Thompson looks worse this year than he did last year. I don't know what's going on. Is he still hurt? Is he nicked up? I don't know. Boaz Stanley, I mean, not run blocking's not his forte, it doesn't seem right now. You've had issues at left guard. Your 2 best, again, Ball's been solid and so's Henry, but the other 3 guys have been a mixed bag. This seems to go on the best offensive lineman they've had here in my 4 years was Torricelli Simpkins, was not developed here. He transferred in.
Right.
So what's going on? You got to start it with the offensive line. Is the run game schemes need to be streamlined? Are you doing stuff that matches your talent up front on the offensive line? Are you asking guys to do things they can't do? I don't know, Jay, but you got to figure out how to block guys up front, man.
Yeah, you got to fix you. Carlton up next. Hey, Carlton, good afternoon, bud.
Hey, Carlton.
I had 3 points that I had to make was these guys need to work on their pursuit angles. Defensive front needs to move. They need to slide them to the left or to the right and twist and extend.
Well, yeah, Carlton, thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
I look again. I will not sit here and act like I am the film study expert. I see what I see with my eyes, whether I'm at the game or watching on television. These men are all paid a lot of money to fix these things. I am more than certain how well aware they are of their deficiencies. Knowing is half the battle. As I said, and all the things I outlined in my opening monologue, Shane said all of those things in his postgame. They know.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and I know as fans, you're like, then what are they doing about it? I don't know. That's where we don't go to practice. None of us go, so I don't know what they're going to do. And again, I think a coach like Stoops, whose teams, if nothing else, are typically very fundamentally sound, will simply look this weekend to make this game as ugly and rock fight-ish.
You're trying to bore
as
to
he
death.
Yeah.
Again, for 4 quarters.
He'll get out of here. If he gets out of here 3-0.
Oh, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
And I again, not predicting that, but I am sort of predicting that he will want to make it as close to that as he possibly can.
I mean, he wants to take this thing back to the 1930s if he can get away with it.
To his playing days with old Hayden Fry.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's why when we go back to this, you lost the line of scrimmage Saturday. You can't win too many football games when you lose the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. No. You got run over on defense, and your offense, you really got run over on both sides of the ball, to be honest, Jay.
Again, Terry, a 294-yard rush discrepancy.
And I think what is the most frustrating when you watch it is all the missed tackles. And you were in position to make plays. Look, I get it. Hardy's arms are bigger than my body. That dude, again, like I think what Case said, is a load. The dude's a load. But you know what? If you got 30 guys on him, you got to gang tackle him. You got to pursue. You got to hit him. You got to,
might need 30.
One guy grabs a hold of him and 5 guys falls on it. I don't know, but you just got to do better when it comes to tackling these guys. It's 2 weeks in a row now, Jay.
Carlton, appreciate the phone call. Lots more of you. 803-404-6100. Keep them coming. It's Reaction Monday postgame show. 11 minutes in front of 4 o'clock on this Monday. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry. Jalen at Master Control. Gary is up next as we continue reacting to Carolina's 29-20 loss in Como. Kentucky coming in this weekend. Hey, Gary.
Hey, Gary.
Oh,
Another Monday.
there we go.
Wish
Gary.
it was on better terms, but, where I'm going to get started. Counter report says that, hey, you need to wrap this guy up. Why should you wrap Ahmad Hardy up? Well, coming out of Louisiana Monroe, he had almost 1,400 yards rushing, over 10 touchdowns, and his longest was 80. I don't care what league you're playing in, unless you're playing against Dutch Fork High School every night, you should tackle that guy. There's a reason he was sought after in the portal. Second thing, Jay and Terry, I'm with you guys. Like something has to be somebody got to talk to these coordinators and I'm not out here calling for anybody's job because Lonnie Teasley's not going out there run blocking and whatever, but if the coaches aren't aligned with the game plan that Mike Shula is setting up for these guys to carry out, then it's a communication issue somewhere, and it's not always on the players. Like there's 4 or 5 coaches on the staff that deal with the whole offense, and we got Augusta out of the portal. He's a big guy. Why could we not just use him on short yardage, or either Attaway, who doesn't really go down easy? Because I see the speed with Faison, but he doesn't really seem like an in between the tackles kind of guy. We got 2 guys for that. But all in all, we just got to do better. This was probably the most Missouri team that we could have beaten them in consecutive years, and we let them off the hook Saturday. Plain and simple. Appreciate the call.
All right, man.
No problem,
Be
man.
good. Yeah, again, and going back to a previous caller too that I wanted to echo, and then work in what Gary just had to say. You get first and goal at the 2. You score a touchdown there, as you should in that situation, and it does alter everything else. When it comes to Faison, look, this is the guy they wanted, and so they saw whatever the whole package was. But that missed block the other night, that's the kind of play that gets you out of the rotation because
Absolutely.
you will not be carrying the ball every time, and you will be asked to play very physically without the football on a regular basis. So, and in terms of Attaway, Augustave, again, Fuller had his moment. Like I say, I'm not sure if they just haven't quite found they know what Attaway is about. And again, for all of the fighting that they did to get Rasul Faison into the program, they clearly like a lot about what he can bring. So how much of it is them? How much of it is what's happening up front? You never want to use the injuries as an excuse, Terry, especially when you now have recruited very well up front. But in terms of continuity, we always feel like we're regressing back to 23 with when this football team had, 8 or 9 straight games of some different combination of 5 up front relative to last year, where I think it wasn't until about the 8th or 9th game when somebody had to come out. So, again, I'm not saying that is or isn't what's happening, but that's what we see with our eyes. Look, Mike Shula is the offensive coordinator, so it is going to fall on him to implement the game plan. But if Shane doesn't like what he's seeing, and I know what we're going to kind of beat this dead horse for a while, we've seen Shane Beamer, the head coach, go to a coordinator and go, dude, I want you to craft the plan to be more like X.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That's up to them. So I don't know what, I'll just say that. And we've seen it have success. Has he done that again? I don't know. I mean, I want to say it would surprise me if he hadn't, but maybe this time it's just not producing the results they're looking for. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, Dusty Dvorak, you could have played a drinking game. How many times he said on Saturday night, "Hey man, how about some design runs for Lenora Sellers?"
Yeah.
And remember, because Dusty, right when they were getting ready to kick it off, he said, "Look, we've talked to the coaching staff. Sellers is 100%. There's no constraints on him.
He looked fine.
He's going to run the ball, blah, 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 blah."
They probably, to be fair, were trying to make sure there wasn't too much unnecessary contact.
We weren't going to run him like Old Dominion, right? Not 20 times or 25 times. But
again, Terry, where's that line drawn?
I don't know either.
Sure.
And I think that's the thing that confuses everyone who's watching this, right? Where's the line? Why? Look, if teams, we were talking about this the other day. if teams are taking away Lenora Sellers, the runner, then they're leaving something else exposed. And you now have to adjust to make them pay for that. Whatever you decide to do, when they've got two spies running at Lenora Sellers, the minute he breaks out of the pocket, you have to make them pay. And whether it's, Lenore's keep your eyes up, you keep your eyes downfield, to, make them pay when they come up. There are openings behind them in the secondary.
Right.
There is adjustments, Jay, all the time.
Lots more to get to here on Reaction Monday, 803-404-6100. You can hit us on the text line as well, the Firehouse Subs text line, AAA phone lines. Hit us on Twitter. Got a lot more to do. Hour 2 coming up. Griffin Pools and Spas is ready to make your backyard dreams a reality. And listen, like I keep telling you, okay, look, today's officially the first day of fall. But, y'all, it's 87 degrees in downtown Columbia. So if you live around the Midlands, you can be using that pool all week. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. So just think about it. Now, look, I know it's winding down. But in-ground or above-ground pools are the specialties at Griffin Pools and Spas. And they've been doing this since 1976. So if you're a fan of the sleek, seamless look of an in-ground pool, or you want affordability and convenience of an above-ground, they've got you covered. And their unique array of pools not just look good, but they could be full of memories, morning swims, pool parties, birthdays. Take a look today. Get them out to your backyard and see all they can do for you. Pools, spas, hot tubs, grills, accessories, steps away from the Lake Murray Dam in Lexington, and always online at griffinpoolsandspas.com. 4 o'clock here on a Monday afternoon. Welcome back in. It's the second hour of the postgame show. Jay Phillips, Terry Ford, Jalen Tart at Master Control, wherever you might be. Thank you for being with us. Very busy on the phone lines in hour number one, and we'll continue to do that throughout the afternoon. Do have some other things we want to get to. We're not going to put Carolina football to the side on a reaction Monday. They lost in a very ugly manner. And, again, let me go back to the number, 294, right?
Yeah.
294-yard discrepancy in rush yards.
Yeah.
And South Carolina's worst rushing performance, because it was negative numbers, since 1981 when you were trying to replace a legend.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That boggles my mind.
Watching that.
I mean, we've had a winless team here. We've had a 1-win team here. We've had 2 3-win teams here.
And look, I know
we've had a 2-win team here since then.
I know part of it's sack yards and all that stuff, but still, push that aside. That was an abysmal rushing performance, and you could tell that they were just trying to find something. And Fuller got some run. You were trying to do this or that. And look, we talk about the offensive line starts there, but then the other part of this is too. Your backs have to create things for themselves sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. Guys have to make plays sometimes, don't they? Mm-hmm. And sometimes you got to beat the defender. You know, like they had that one play. Remember the first series you ended around with Rowe?
Yeah.
And it didn't go anywhere. It looked like it might be promising.
Yeah.
When you watch the replay, it's not blocked that bad, but Rowe was asked to beat one guy, and he couldn't beat him, and he got tackled.
Yeah,
Sometimes you got to beat a guy. You know, look what Hardy did. Hardy beat a lot of guys. Right. It's just sometimes you got to be better than the other guy on D. You got to be a playmaker. And that's another part of it. That's not the number one reason, but that's also part of this is, you got to make a guy miss. You got to break some ankles. You got to, have some guy tackle air.
And look, from time to time, again, I don't want to dwell too much on whether it's a play like that one or the miss to Bennett. But not every play hits, and that's.
But the problem is when you're accumulating these, that's when you have problems. Is what I'm saying.
Right. I know. I'm agreeing with you. I just, but something. If you do this or that, again, the one what I want back is first and goal at the 2.
Yeah. Oh, that's
you've got it.
And then changes the game.
You went back. Whatever was a 12-yard sack or whatever. And then a 10-yard penalty on top of that, and all of a sudden it's first and forever.
Mm-hmm. And what's sad is if you had confidence in your running game, you would have ran the ball on first down most likely.
Yeah, and I can even appreciate a little something. I don't know. Look, here, Lenoris, line up under center and go. And we'll get you in there.
How about is tush push illegal in college?
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, to me, I just
you know what? Do it until they tell you can't.
Not to, right? To SEC officials. But that's why I guess I go back to that. And I know if you do the play action, throw a touchdown, we're not talking about it. I get it. But it just feels like I don't understand, and maybe you can help me. I just don't understand why you're not using your quarterback to affect the game at the highest possible level.
I don't know, and that it is baffling. And like I say, whether Shane last week, I think I get where he was coming from. I won't say he was defensive, but guys, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We do have a plan in place, and you and I and others that were our guests last week, maybe we just didn't get to see a new implementation of what they wanted to do with him. Because he had to, because he got hit in the head and had to come out of the game. And so maybe this week, again, I don't know. I'm certain, based on the conversations I have with some folks behind the scenes, that he had virtually no contact in practice. And they don't really do a lot of contact in practice anyway. So maybe they are trying to be as cautious as possible with someone who is so vitally important to their success. And we saw, at least for the one half of his game, the pass game, he was very, very good this week.
Threw the ball well, man.
But you got to support that. And so, but we also know that the reason he is so highly thought of, and again, we don't want to compare him, Cam Newton won a Heisman and Lamar won a Heisman, and I don't want to do that to Lenoris. But there are reasons that he's being compared to men like Cam and Lamar because he can do both.
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching Saturdays with dual-threat quarterbacks who don't have the skill level of Lenore Sellers, who are out there doing dual-threat things. Now, look, I get the other team is trying to take that away from you. I understand. But again, I go back to what I said the first hour of the show. What are you doing to combat that?
Right.
Because there are adjustments to make to their adjustments. There's always adjustments, Jay, right?
Right.
Always. I guess with me, I'm just like, okay, if they're running spies at him, I mean, Missouri was blatant, right? You saw it everywhere.
Sure. Well, then you have to. You have to, and you know that, right?
Right.
Like, as the Carolina offense, when you're game planning, you know that. And how do you accommodate for it? That's
the thing. What do you do? What are you doing? I shouldn't say what you do. What are you doing, South Carolina? What is it? Is it simple? Okay, he breaks contain. What's like when you're playing football out in the yard with your buddies? If the quarterback breaks away and the defenders are running at him, he's probably going to throw the ball over their head in that little area between the linebackers and the DBs because there's open space. There should be a receiver running around there. Right.
Correct.
There are ways to combat this sort of thing when teams are selling out to stop your quarterback. They're leaving things open for you to take advantage of.
And listen, Ryan, and he'll be here tomorrow, Ryan Brewer, but Ryan made a great point last week. But because I said to him when we opened the show last week, I was like, I want to see last year, and I love that he was being the same kind of smart ass I am at times, but he made a great point. So you want to see the play breakdown and Lenore's have to go running all over the place? I was like, yes, like because when he says it like that, you realize it's not as cut and dried as you want it to be from an observational standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So I get it. And that was Shane's point last week. So here we all are in the middle of this, maelstrom trying to figure out exactly what is and is not happening. But it's obvious from the other night that Missouri knew they could make you one-dimensional and then stay in the game. And that's where I come back around, and then ultimately, obviously, for Mizzou, win the game. But that's why I come back to, with 5 minutes to go, despite how bad you had been in large chunks of the game, tons of bad penalties, the inability to run the football. And yes, Ahmad Hardy's going to get his, but you can contain better than that and not miss as many tackles. We have an email thread from our picks, and did I see 21 missed tackles was the final tally?
Yeah.
21 missed tackles. All right, what if it's just 10? Yeah. It's still not great. What if it's just 10? Instead of 7 procedural penalties, what if it's just 3? Yeah. Right? What
if you could run for 50 yards or 60 or something?
Yeah, right. Yeah. What if you just ran for, hell, Terry, if you ran, 50. That'd be 59 more than you ran for. So a little tiny things, and despite how bad Carolina looked, they win this football game. And so that's not to knock Missouri. It's that, again, to go back to some of the points I made about a bad rushing total. Because, like I say, I'm old and I've been here a long time. I've seen some bad football teams. I don't think this is that.
No.
I don't think this is not a team. But the Vandy score, that got away from you for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Most notably, number 16 was injured.
Right.
But there were other things. And Tim Beck called a hell of a game. But this is not the team's, this isn't Richard Bell in 82.
Right.
This isn't 3-6-2 in 1990. This isn't
a Muschamp year with COVID.
This isn't 2-8 in 2020, where again, thank you Auburn for deciding to throw the football. This isn't obviously 98 or 99. This isn't. We're not even close to those things. Now, could we be looking at a 6 or 7, 8 win team? Maybe. But I see how close you were the other night, and it's about you. It's about you.
And that's probably. Because if you're Shane and that staff, my guess is you got two things going on in your head. A, you're what you just said is like, we had the lead going into the fourth quarter. With 5 minutes left, we still had an opportunity to retake the lead.
And you got the ball again.
But then what drives you nuts is, but we did a lot of shooting our own selves in the feet, which didn't help us. And there's talent here. I'll be honest with you, Brian Rowe looks like he's got something. Watching him play ever since the spring game, there's quickness there. There's possible big play-making ability. Jacobs pops up and has a huge game on Saturday. We've seen improvement in Harbor. We know defensively.
You mentioned Harbor without the ball.
Yeah. Harbor, the block Harbor threw early in the game, when Attaway had his best run around right end, Harbor blew up, I think, a linebacker on the edge, came in with a nice block. Harbor gave him a snot knocker. And Harbor's gotten better. There's some guys on defense with a lot of ability on this football team. They really have it. So that's what, if you're Shane, you're going, we have talent, we have ability. We just got to quit smacking ourselves in the head all the time.
Ron wants to weigh in on the game. Ron, good afternoon. How you doing, man?
Jay, you and I have talked many times before. There has to stop being a narrative that this is the same Lenore Sellers from last year, because it's not. He is not confident running the football right now for whatever reason. But you guys touched on the first and goal at the 2. If you can't score running the ball with a 250-pound quarterback 4 times from the 2-yard line, you don't deserve it. You've got to run the ball there. Even if you call that play on first down, Lenore, he's got to be smart enough to get rid of it. 1, 2, it's not open, get rid of it. You line up again at second down on the 2. But you cannot take that sack. The pass that he missed over the middle there, he rushed it. He panicked. The pass that he missed, the deep one, short, he panicked. He threw it short. There's just something not right this year. I don't know what it is, but they need to figure that out, because that's our hope.
I
Appreciate
listen,
that,
in so many words, Ron, I completely agree with you. There it is not the same feel, and that goes back to the point I made with Ryan last week. And again, whether we're joking about it or not, it doesn't feel the same. And how much of that is again to develop him more soundly for the next level. And they're not going to try to develop. I don't want anybody to misinterpret when I say that. They're not going to do that at the expense of winning football games. Again, y'all hear me enough about banging the drum of a true NFL developmental league. This kind of conversation we're having right now about Lenore Sellers is why I look people in the eye and I get angry when they tell me, Jay, there is one. It's called college football. Stop it. No, it is not. Shane Beamer's job, Mike Shula's job, Lenore Sellers' job is to win football games for South Carolina, not to get Lenore Sellers to the National Football League. Do they go hand in hand at times? Is there a really nice Venn diagram with very little separation? Sure. But job one is
job
to
1,
win
2, and 3
football games.
Absolutely. There's no doubt.
So, this is why, again, I'm not trying to sit here and start talking about a developmental league again, but I agree with Ron, and it doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same. Does it mean that Mike has done something drastically different than what Dowell was doing? I don't believe so, because Mike was working with him last year, too, as a consultant, as an analyst. So he understands what it is that Lenoris does best.
Yeah. Does it? I'll say this: does it look the same as it did last year? Even like again, early in the season. I mean, remember that Old Dominion game in the opener? Lenoris carried that thing 25 times or whatever. And we sat here going, you really shouldn't, you can't do that.
And I think
forward.
that was high school Lenoris reverting a little bit, and he got better.
I think that as the year went on, they found that sweet spot of using his legs and using his arm. And Lenoris, maybe he bailed out early at times to take off and not go through the progressions, but it just looks different all the way around this year. Very interesting. I got a comment here from someone says about Lenoris, and we're talking about him leaving. Yes. I think he's leaving because he's already making business decisions out there, saying he's protecting himself because he's got bigger fish to fry come April, which is an interesting thought process. I don't know if it goes down that deep of conspiracy avenue, but again, when you're seeing it different, you're thinking all these different things of why, and there's just another person throwing in their 2 cents as to why it could be.
Well, I mean, look, if I don't believe that, but again, there's 2 ways to look at that.
Yeah, there is.
Because if that is what's happening and it gets worse,
then guess what you did?
Then you made a bad business decision.
Right, exactly.
Lots more to do on the postgame show.
You need cabinets in the home, anywhere in the home. CHW Cabinetry is the folks to call. 803-520-6837. They will talk with you. They'll meet with you. They'll ask you what you're looking for, your budget. What do you see? What are you thinking? They will do something that's so cool. Photorealistic renderings. That will show you exactly what that space is going to look like, and also a job site guarantee. They will guarantee you everyone is going to be on the same page all the time. And you will be quite happy with your cabinets from CHW Cabinetry. Again, call 803-520-6837. Get the ball rolling by just talking to Star and her crew. Go in there, meet with them, give them the idea what you're looking for, and they will, from beginning to end, they will do everything but actually build the cabinets in front of you. 803-520-6837. Just make the call and make the connection with CHW Cabinetry.
20 minutes after 4 o'clock on this Reaction Monday. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. Jalen's at Master Control. 803-404-6100 to get us on the AAA phone lines, Firehouse Subs text line, or on Twitter, jphillips1075. David hits me, says, Jay, you followed this program for a while. Why is it Carolina can't handle high expectations? Well, I have followed this program for a long while. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think they can to a large degree. I think sometimes what has happened, and I'm going to oversimplify for the sake of the discussion, South Carolina, like a lot of teams in sports that achieve at a certain level most of the time and then maybe step up a little, you start to get people's attention more than you typically do. Mm-hmm. I think Steve Spurrier recognized that, in the first few years that he was here. Mm-hmm. He also realized, like Shane already knows, if you really want to be good at this, you got to go have a whole second team that is really bleeping good.
Oh, depth. Mm-hmm.
So, I think under a coach now, a lot of it is Coach Spurrier. And it's Carolina football, right? I mean, Dawn's teams handled their expectations. Mm-hmm. Ray Tanner's teams handled their expectations. Mm-hmm. Eddie Fogler followed up a 2 seed with a 3 seed. I
sure.
get it. Coach Morrison had a couple of 8-win seasons after a little lull, and then a 10-win season. And again, that 86 team, man, I'm telling you, that was 3-6-2, and I don't know how they went 3-6-2 because they should have won. They should have won 8 or 9 games. They were so good, Terry. They were so good, and it feels like this team might be something like that. Not that they're going to go 3-6-2. In fact, I guarantee you they won't go 3-6-2.
No, they won't have 2 ties.
No,
not happening.
Guaranteed. But David, it's a fair question for those of us who have been around here in most, if not all, of our lives. And again, once you've crossed the threshold of a certain age, which I have. To ask that. Mm-hmm. But the kids on this team don't know most of that. And that's one of the things I talk about. What have you done in the last couple of years? Well, Shane's gotten it better. And while these kids have been alive, if you will, South Carolina has finished in the top 5 in the country. So they don't remember it.
Right.
But they did. So that doesn't help you, David, and I don't know that I can, because this is just such a subjective question. Mm-hmm. I don't know that that's what this is, but something right now is off, and you need to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just focusing on this year, obviously, you had to replace a lot of players. That was one of the most experienced teams in the country last year, and you lost a lot of folks, and you had to replace them. That's number one. But the other thing about that question, some coaches, some programs are more comfortable being the hunter. They like being in the weeds. They like people not paying attention to them. They feel more comfortable being the underdog, playing the disrespect card, shocking the world. But they're not comfortable being the hunted. And it takes a while to get comfortable with that when you've been the underdog for so long, right? And you're used to playing that role and sneaking up on people and all that. And so sometimes it just takes a bit to go, we're now comfortable being the hunted. And that's where South Carolina would have to get. I mean, last year, again, you snuck up on everybody, won 9 games, almost made the college football playoff. This year, there was expectations, and so far you're having trouble reaching that. Now, is it part of this year is, number 11 in the country hasn't happened in a long time here.
Right.
Are there maybe guys who, and they didn't know they weren't handling it well, maybe they haven't handled it as well. Maybe there's more pressure. Maybe you're just thinking, okay, we're number 11 in the country, we'll walk on the field and beat anybody. There could be stuff here, to David's question, that we don't know, that learning to handle expectation is a thing in life.
It is.
Right?
And I would say this, too, and I'm very serious when I say this. For where South Carolina is in direct relation to everybody else in the conference, annually you are hunted by Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Missouri. They hunt you.
Right.
Because they understand that despite the 4 schools' different levels of limitation, South Carolina should project as the best of those. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think more often than not, Stoops seems to take Carolina personally. Eli, take it personally. even here of late, when, with Clark Lee and Diego Pavia, they seem to have taken it personally. They're hunting South Carolina because in order to get where they might want to go, you must step on and over South Carolina. Now, again, that's not why South Carolina lost to Missouri.
No, not at all.
That's a different. I suppose that's two kinds of conversations to have, David. But to your point about the hunted, Carolina is hunted not by most, but by a few here and there when you see them on a regular basis.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you on that because it does seem like it was very personal this year for everybody. Maybe because the beating they took from South Carolina last year.
But if you want to be good, like they say, well, we have to beat South Carolina. And is South Carolina always saying the same things about those three schools?
Well, here's the thing. I think.
Or does South Carolina say, we have to beat Tennessee?
They're looking at Tennessee.
We have to beat
They're
Alabama.
looking at Alabama. They're looking at they're not looking at those schools. That's what I'm saying. They don't look at those schools as hunting them. They've driven by them in some ways, right?
Right.
They're looking at that next level. That's where you're hunting. And if you're being hunted, you're now being hunted because your expectations are so high. You're not worried about if Kentucky or Mississippi State or Vandy or whoever's hunting you. You're like, yeah, whatever. But you're looking at it on a different level. You're number 11 in the country preseason. That means you're looked at the cusp of the college football playoff. Now you do have a bullseye. Did South Carolina handle that bullseye that Vandy put on them?
No.
They didn't handle it well, right? You think that maybe Eli, and I know they don't do this just out of the only reason, but part of the motivation that week was getting even for what happened the year before in Columbia? Could have been. I don't know. Do you think Oklahoma's going to come in here wanting to get a little something for what happened? That whooping last year that South Carolina put on Oklahoma in Norman, you think Brent Venables ain't going to bring that up?
I've been watching Oklahoma play defense, too.
Uh-huh. They might get 50 sacks. They sacked Jackson on 3 more times while we were talking. My point is, there are people that are going to come in here and want to get a little even for what happened last year. You're now being hunted, even in the short term. Mm-hmm. How do you handle that? But teams that would typically never hunt you.
Right. Well, Oklahoma never would, but they might. But that's what I say. To me, Kentucky, Vandy, and Missouri do every year.
But I still feel like you feel the same thing after South Carolina.
Maybe you should.
I'm not going to disagree with that either. Maybe you should. That's a good point.
This school has beaten Eli Drinkwitz once.
Because remember, Kentucky, you thought you were past. All of a sudden, they beat you a few times.
Now you've beaten them 3 times.
And now you got them 3 times in a row. So basically,
but they're licking their chops this Saturday night, man.
I think you hit it on the head, though. Stoops is going, we can rock fight with these guys.
Oh, yeah. And South Carolina doesn't want a rock fight.
No, you want a game in the 20s and 30s.
Yeah, that's what concerns me.
Because you can't get the 25, 30.
I don't know that you win a rock fight.
That's a legitimate
rock fight
point.
Means you better be able to control the line of scrimmage.
You got to be physical. You got to muck it up. It gets nasty and dirty, and rock fights aren't cool.
803-404-6100. Lots more to do on the Reaction Monday postgame show. Palmetto Propane has been in business since 1959, delivering propane to homes, businesses, farms all across South Carolina. And now they can help you make your life a whole lot easier, more comfortable, more convenient, more efficient. Stop in and see the Hearth and Patio Home Store showrooms. And in there, you can see and feel what new gas log fireplaces would look and feel like in your house. Or maybe outdoor fire features, gas lanterns, heaters, fire pits, and all the accessories to make outdoor life a whole lot better. Or perhaps it's something as simple as a Rinnai tankless water heater that the professionals at Palmetto Propane can install for you. Trust me on this, y'all. Get one. Thank me later. Yes, I've said that a bunch because it is true. Whatever it is that you need to make life more comfortable, Palmetto Propane ready to help you out. Go on to palmettopropane.com and find a Hearth and Patio Home Store showroom near you and tell them we sent you to Palmetto Propane.
Traffic in the Midlands for your ride home. Obviously, a lot of construction. We have, like always, I-126 right there where Hughie is and going into, heading out of town, so to speak. There's construction there always. We have it there at Malfunction Junction at I-26 and I-20. And, again, in pockets, we've got bridges out. We've got interstate slowdowns. So just understand we deal with it every day. And we got it going on again today. So, again, make time out for it. We will come back, continue to talk to you on a Reaction Monday at 803-404-6100. You can hit us up on our text line, Firehouse Sub text line, AAA Heating and Air phone line as well. Also, Twitter X and everywhere else that we are. Feel free to jump in and let us know how you feel about the Carolina loss.
25 minutes in front of 5 o'clock here on a Monday afternoon. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. Jalen at Master Control. A lot of reaction on the phone lines, 803-404-6100. I will get into more of this at the top of the hour headlines, but I do want to make mention, because we haven't talked about it at all, Bruce Pearl retired with the immediate effect today as the basketball coach at Auburn. Obviously, he has done amazing things while he has been down on the Plains. They had never been to the Final Four. He's taken them twice. They, I don't believe, maybe had won one SEC championship. He's won 3. He's won 2 tournament titles. Obviously, put dudes into the league. He wins at a greater. I think he's basically his winning percentage. This includes a couple of years, and they got it going. He wins about 2 every 3 games they play for, over 11 years, where they had won just over half in their history. His son Steven is going to take over, and there is rampant speculation that Bruce Pearl is going to run for the United States Senate. Because
Interesting.
Tommy Tuberville is going to run for governor of Alabama. And if I may, this isn't me being political from a party perspective, but why would you get out of the Senate to run for governor? Usually, the way it has always been in my life, governors become senators. Yes. But Tommy wants to do it the other
man.
way. You know, usually it's like state house, Congress, governor, senator. And I've seen that in my life, or at least in those who have been around. Anyway, Bruce Pearl has retired with immediate effect. Stephen will take over. And, again, rampant speculation that Bruce Pearl is going to announce a run in Alabama.
That would be interesting if he all of a sudden decided, and it didn't all of a sudden. Obviously, this has been building.
Yeah, you don't get to run for U.S. Senate. Hey, you know what I want to do today? I want to run for U.S. Senate.
You don't just go into the wife, and she's like, I made some French toast. That's really good. You want a cup of coffee? Yeah, sweetheart. By the way, hey, babe. Right. Yeah, Bruce. I decided today I'm going to run for Senate. Oh, and I'm quitting my job.
State Senate, Bruce? No. United States.
United States. I'm going to quit my gig at Auburn. You okay with that? Oh, you mean the gig that pays us millions a year?
I don't think you spring county commissioner or county council or whatever on somebody, much less.
I tell you what, though, for the basketball part of this, it's a huge L for Auburn, obviously. Sure, I mean, you lose a guy of this ilk.
And we'll see if Steven's good, but
you have a big question mark now where you're going, right?
Bruce
and Bruce, he got the new world order with well, really, can we say Bruce was doing a lot of NIL before NIL was legal?
Well, allegedly. Bruce wasn't, but maybe some people around the program.
So my favorite one ever was the picture of him at his own house with the recruit.
Travis Kraft.
So good. So good.
I don't know where that is. It's your house.
It's your house, Bruce. Well, the most ironic part, and we'll move on from this, was, remember, Bruce Pearl got a huge black mark from coaches because he dimed Lou Henson.
Yeah.
He dimed Lou the Do And
it was quite a do.
yeah, that was something else. Boy, that hairpiece was. My dad was impressed with that hairpiece.
I think that was his real hair.
Sure, it was. So that was the ironic part. The Pearl was the guy that dimed Lou Henson, but then look what Bruce Pearl was doing, allegedly, so to speak.
So we'll see. We'll have more on that for you coming up in just a bit. But primarily today, talking, Carol. But I also have. Let me say this real fast. Sorry. Then we'll get to the phones again. I also have a poll question today because the great, amazing, wonderful, talented Chris Lowe, through his own deduction and then follow-up phone calls with his trusted sources. And by the way, Chris, for a couple of decades, writing for ESPN.
Mm-hmm. Think he knows anybody over there?
And now he is working for On3. But he today, and let me say this too. This isn't speculation anymore because Chris is so well connected to the folks in Birmingham that if any of it was wrong, and I promise you, I know Chris well enough that he called, like a lot of times we'll do this in our business. Hey, if I were to go on air, or in this case, publish this, y'all got any pushback?
And by the way,
and when the answer is, we'd rather you not, but
we have a TV show coming out Tuesday night.
Now, the TV show is going to have the whole schedule.
Right.
Everybody's schedule for the next 4 years.
So here's my thing.
By the way, Carolina will be playing 5 conference home games next year.
So here's my thing, though. So is this one of those things where, okay, yeah, Chris, run with this because this will do an even better job of promoting our show.
Yes.
That's what I feel.
But he has clearly, obviously nailed it.
Oh, sure.
Because he would have been corrected, and he has not been corrected.
No, he has not been corrected.
So if you have not yet heard today, by the way, South Carolina's 3 permanent opponents, which will be officially announced tomorrow night. And I say permanent. They're not calling it permanent. They're calling it annual. It'll be a 4-year cycle. Will be Georgia, Florida, and Kentucky. Yeah. So that's 99.99% like etched in stone.
You got your Georgia, man.
I did. I'm glad.
And Kentucky, we've pretty much figured out Kentucky.
I did. I was Florida. I wasn't sure who but Georgia and Kentucky, I was almost 100% with. Because I figured with Georgia, you knew Georgia was going to get Florida and Auburn, as we said, so that South Carolina made the most sense. And for what it's worth, and Andy Staples reminded me of this today, the closest campus to the University of Florida is the one right across the street.
How about that? Think about that for a minute.
Yep.
So you get somewhat of a regional feel to this thing with Florida and Georgia, and then you get this team that all of a sudden you've gotten this thing started with Kentucky.
So on that note,
you happy with those?
Yes,
good?
I am very happy. Okay. I am very happy. In fact, I'm thrilled. I think it's fantastic. So I asked you today on a Twitter poll on my Twitter feed at jphillips1075. Are you good with this in terms of the annual matchups? Again, Georgia, Florida, Kentucky. A, sure, love it. B, not my top choice. Or C, nope, that's pretty tough. Hit me up. I'm going to run it through tomorrow afternoon, and then whatever we have, and then we'll see the final results, and then we'll probably have something else on Wednesday to do.
That'll work.
So
how's it looking so far?
So far, over 75% of you say, sure, we love it. So 20% not my top choice, about 5% say pretty tough.
There you go.
But you weren't going to get the Vandy, Mississippi State, Missouri, or whatever that you wanted.
No.
So there you go.
And you've lost to those two this year anyway.
That's right. Justin is up next. Hey, Justin.
Hey,
Good afternoon, bud.
What's up?
Got you, Justin?
Hey, Justin.
There's Justin. Hey, Justin. Start over.
Hey, can you hear me? I'm sorry.
We got you.
Yes, sir. I was just talking about the Gamecock football as a whole. I guess this season, kind of summarized by the Missouri game, is the crazy thing is we led pretty much that whole game without any run game and being penalized like crazy. But the one thing that just is continually stepping up or whatever is, like, we just cannot seem to put everything together. Like, one year we got a great generational quarterback, and then we don't have anybody up front that can block for him. Or we might have a generational running back, and we don't have a pass game, or whatever it is. And looking at the expectations this year, it looked like you had everything that was going to finally be in place. But right now, it just seems like we are just getting beat up front on both sides of the ball, and for different reasons. I think one thing that has not been mentioned enough is that Coach Roberson being out, is something he can't control. I think that has impacted that defensive line and how they've progressed so far this year. and then everything starts and ends with the O-line when it comes to your offense. I mean, right now not being able to maintain a run game, and then when you see those throws that we had, there was 3 plays when it comes to Maceo Bennett wide open, when it comes to the call on the 2-yard line, and when it comes to the play call late when Jacobs is going across the middle. If Sellers has just a fraction of a second or another second, we're completing all those passes and all those plays, and it's a completely different ball game. I just feel like we're getting very close, and for us to have such a young team in some aspects of it, we just got to start developing up front. I think that's where it starts and ends. I will give props to our special teams and our wide receivers. They seem to be getting better every single game. It's great to see those young guys step up, but just right now it's just so frustrating that we just cannot put everything together and
it's
stop
close,
shooting
man.
ourselves in
Yeah,
the foot.
Justin, good phone call. You're right, and that's what we said. I mean, despite all of the negatives that we had to open the show and the stats and the things that Shane mentioned in his post-game presser, again, with 5 minutes to go, you're only down 6. Going into the fourth quarter, you're leading on the road, and it was ugly.
Mm-hmm.
But you had your chances. Fix you. You fix a lot. That's what I'm saying. Fix what you can fix. Lots more to do coming up. AAA Heating and Air is still reminding you that it's hot. All right, yes, it is officially fall now. I think that happened like a couple hours ago, officially. But it's also officially 87 degrees in downtown Columbia. Could be a little nicer where you are, but probably not by much. Going to be in the 90s later this week, so your AC is still cranking. And if you know that it has not given you its best this summer, or that if it's old, now is a great time to go ahead and get a brand new system from AAA Heating and Air. Take advantage of an offer that Roy and Dana Finley have extended now for several more months. Guaranteed financing, no payments or interest for a full year, $1,500 system buyback rebate, 15-year parts and labor guarantee. We got a new system in our upstairs a couple of months ago. We love it because everybody's a lot happier. 803-677-1500. Stay nice and comfortable with AAA Heating and Air. And tell them we sent you. All right, welcome back in. I'll toss it to Terry. I know what it's going to be already, and I was watching yesterday when this happened.
This really sucked. If you're a fan of the L.A. Rams, or I don't know if you might have put a little wager down.
Oh, and a lot of people.
Jalen.
Joshua Carty has it blocked again. This time Jordan Davis, the big man, looks for the icing on one big cake. Eagles hang on.
So the Eagles were up 1 when this kick was blocked, and Jordan Davis took it to the house to end the game. So if you are up by 1, Jay, and then you add in 6 at the end, what are you up by?
7.
And you know what that did?
Yeah, I do.
That covered the number.
Covered the number. It was 2.5, I think. Maybe close at 3.5. But I could feel the anguish across like sportsbook lounges everywhere in Vegas and anywhere else these days that have them, because you're probably like, oh, cool. Either way, I'm good here.
Mm-hmm.
If that's all you had was action on the game and you had the Rams to cover the spread. Right. I did in our picks contest. I was like, I'll take the Rams to cover in Philly, because I think the Rams playing pretty good football. And while Philadelphia is a better team, I was like, McVay will dial something up, and they did.
Man, they did to their credit.
But you don't dial that up.
No, you didn't dial that up.
But I did. So I was like, man, all of a sudden there are people everywhere that flipped the mood. And you've been in these places, and any of you that have ever been in like especially the big rooms in Vegas, that's a scene like no other. By the way,
it's craziness.
But again, that's why I don't that right there. And I texted Elijah. I was like, kids, that right there is why you don't bet on sports.
Absolutely not. So that really sucked if you had taken the Rams to cover. All right, and Jay or nay, hit it, Jalen.
Let's do some Jay or nay. It's the Postgame Show on the Game Network.
All right, Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy says he has no interest in this being his final season in charge of the Cowboys.
Of course he doesn't.
He says 100% he's intending to stay at Oklahoma State beyond the 2025 season. This is going to be the easiest Jay or nay I've had since. Jay or nay, there'll be a new head coach at Oklahoma State next year.
Jay. Bless his heart. What an odd and incredibly precipitous fall. I mean, it went from being a very good team to a disaster with zero in between to see it coming.
They just fell off the cliff like the coyote.
Just walked, just boom, gone.
And part of it was, and what's ironic in this is here's a school that was propped up by a billionaire.
Yes.
And now they've fallen behind in the NIL space because the rumor is Gundy just didn't want to get into it.
Well,
and this year he did, but it was too late, and things have just, like you said, have gone. 2 years ago they played for the Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
And now look at it.
Yeah,
it's craziness.
Yeah. And not only that, they're bad.
God awful.
Yeah.
They're bad.
Yeah, it's not even like Florida they're frustrated. Right? Oklahoma State's bad.
They're just bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
They lost to Tulsa.
Yeah. First time they've lost to Tulsa in Stillwater since the 50s.
Yeah. And it was Tulsa High School, by the way.
No.
Oh, Lord.
No.
All right.
No.
The San Francisco 49ers lose Nick Bosa.
He's gonna believe you can't do that. You can't do that.
Do what?
You can't tell him that.
All right, the Niners lose Nick Bosa to a torn ACL. Here we go again with the Niners. Of course, their starting quarterback Brock Purdy is out. They're still trying to get guys back from injury like Brandon Ayuk. They lost Jennings, the other wide receiver. Once again, the injury bug is flipping through the 49er complex, but guess who's undefeated?
Yeah.
Mac Jones.
Jay or nay, the 49ers are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, Jay, they're still a terrific organization. They know what they're doing. They'll get Purdy back, and Jones has been fine. Bosa is a huge loss because he is fantastic. But this is the second time that they've lost him I think he tore the other ACL. From what I read this morning, as ACL tears go, this is the best kind of tear you can hope for.
Here's the good news. You got a great ACL tear.
So they'll fix it more quickly, and he'll rehab more quickly. He's not back this year, obviously, but he should be
Here's
okay.
the one to close off. Deion Sanders says that his son, Shedeur Sanders, will start a game this year for the Cleveland Browns. Jay or nay?
Since they won yesterday, I'm going to say nay.
Joe Flacco, baby.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Stick with it. Hour 3 coming up.
the Men's Clinic of South Carolina, here to help you if you're a guy and you're just off, man. You know, it's just not what it used to be in anything. You go to the gym, that extra rep you used to get, you can't get anymore. Somebody's pulling the weight off your chest. It's embarrassing. It's awful. You have to roll it off. Makes a noise. You're not bouncing back from exercise. You're not sleeping like you used to. You can't remember stuff like where the gym's at. You're just having a tough time. You have lack of drive in life, whether it's personal, sexual, professional, whatever. You just don't have drive anymore. Could be low testosterone. Just make a phone call to find out. 803-875-MENS. Set an appointment. Go to the Men's Clinic. Tell them your story. If they think it's low T, they'll do lab work. If it comes back low testosterone, they'll put you on a program specifically designed for you. Make that call. Men's Clinic of South Carolina, 803-875-MENS.
I'm going to vamp here while Terry pulls up the traffic report because he forgot that he always has to do traffic right now.
I'm back.
Terry,
now.
over to you for traffic.
I had to get the traffic off the printer. So did you stall for me, sir?
As far as
Thank you. As far as I know.
you.
All right, traffic lights are not working. Bull Street at Elwood Avenue, so be aware of that if you're heading up near that intersection.
Oh, my God.
Also, accident report at Fort Jackson Boulevard.
Bull and Elmwood, no traffic lights?
The traffic lights are not working.
Oh, God.
I know, Bull and Elwood, right?
Oh, my God.
Elmwood and Bull.
Just don't.
Stay away,
just
man. Go
away.
somewhere else. Hardscrabble Road at
Bless your
Clemson
heart
Road,
if you're
there's an
in it.
accident. Sparkleberry Lane near Two Notch, also an accident. So be careful in that area. US 176 Broad River Road at Seminole Road, also an accident. There's so much going on. How about just stay at work and wait for everything to start working again?
I hope there's a cop at that intersection. It is 5 o'clock news time on this Monday. Welcome back in. It's also the final hour of the postgame show alongside Terry Ford. I'm Jay Phillips. Jalen Tart at Master Control for us today On a Reaction Monday, we spend the bulk of our time talking about Carolina football, and in this case, South Carolina losing in Columbia, Missouri, 29-20 the final score, a game in which South Carolina led after 3 quarters, but 2 3-and-outs in the fourth quarter on offense, and the inability to stop Ahmad Hardy led the Mizzou Tigers to the win. The rush total is the biggest statistic of the day. South Carolina -9 in total rush yards, total net rush yards. Yes, that includes quarterback sacks because that's how college works. Nevertheless, Missouri rushed for 285 yards. That is absolutely the difference in the game. Shane Beamer saying you can't win if you're not getting it done.
Congrats to Missouri. They did what they needed to do to win the football game. Proud of our guys and the way they came in here and competed. We expected to win this football game. Disappointed that we didn't. Just told them in the locker room, when you get outrushed 285 to -9, you're not going to win. When you are in the red zone like we were and went backwards, it's going to be hard to win. When you have, once again, 14 penalties, it's going to be hard to win. When you have opportunities to make plays and we don't get it done, it's going to be hard to win. And having said all that, we had the lead going into the fourth quarter, and we weren't able to finish. I thought our defense did a good job of stopping them and getting the ball back for us. Credit that kicker. I know he's their backup kicker after the starter got hurt. We disappointed to give up an explosive run on first down when they got in plus territory, but then we stopped them on 3 plays, forced the field goal. Credit that guy coming in as a backup kicker and making that. But not enough good to win the game, but got the lead going into the fourth quarter, and we weren't able to finish, which is disappointing.
That was Shane's opening statement from his press conference. And before we say anything further, which we've already been saying a lot, the next one, please, Jalen. Here's Shane Beamer on those 14 penalties.
I think it's hard to say it's one bad night when we've had the number of pre-snap penalties that we've had, and it wasn't just the offense tonight, David. It was the offense. It was the special teams not snapping a ball because we couldn't hear, kicking a ball out of bounds. I mean, those are pre-snap penalties too. So, the definition of insanity is continue to do the same thing over and over again. So, when you have 14 penalties on the road, something's got to change. Starting with me.
And that has been one of the things we've talked about the last couple of weeks, and certainly it's been reiterated rather strongly today. The vast majority of what ails South Carolina football in the 2025 season, especially these last 2 losses in conference play, is South Carolina.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not to take from Vanderbilt.
No.
It's not to take from Missouri. Both are good football teams, and they're both incredibly well coached. But South Carolina knows what its problems are, and they've not been able to find a way to fix it. And you hear the frustration, and those of you who may have watched Shane's presser, I've watched it 3 times now just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Mm-hmm. You see it in his face. You hear it in his voice. They're not. I still think this is a pretty good football team in terms of the collection of talent that they have. Yeah. But they've got to find the ways to put it together. And, again, this week, I don't think it gets any easier. I think Kentucky, of the 3 teams that you open conference play with, is the worst of the 3. But I also know, like we said with the other 2 head coaches that you just went up against, you seemingly are playing into Mark Stoops' hands when it comes to a fundamental type of ball game and what he wants to do. And you and I may be joking a little, but not really. That's kind of the funny because it's true, because I expect a rock fight. Yeah. And I'm not sure South Carolina at this point is ready to win a rock fight.
Stoops wants 2-0.
Yeah, if
he'll be happy. He'll be tingly if he got 2-0.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about it now. And we yipped about this in the first segment of the show. Everything else is done now. All the noise, all of this, all that, all the expectation, now it's one thing now. Go beat Kentucky. It's that simple to this point. And if you're Shane, and you look, you're so much in the fight, you don't think of these things. But, I mean, you're coming off this 9-win season. You've got this program right where you want it to be, right? And you've got talent on this football team. You do. On both sides of the ball, you have talent. It's just right now, it's not working on either side of the ball for different reasons. Like, I mean, we talk about the offense a lot defensively. We'll flip the switch another way. Teams are doubling Dylan Stewart. Missouri, every snap, pretty much, it was going to be an obvious passing situation. Dylan Stewart was doubled on Saturday.
And watching him run around those double teams and still on so many opportunities at least get close, you recognize that kind of talent. But there again, I know what you're getting ready to say, too, so I want but
yeah.
Like, despite that,
yeah,
he is still effective.
That's how talented he is. And they're taking his – they're basically saying, look, the rest of you cats can beat us. This dude's not beating us. Now, Brian Thomas earlier in the year, I mean, he was showing a bit. But he's got to show more. These other – I mean, again, Murphy, J.O., we've seen flashes of what they can be. They've got to get consistent.
That's the whole theme, right?
Yeah, consistency.
Yeah.
We've seen flashes of all these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Gabriel Dindy at times, you see why he was a highly recruited player out of high school. Right. You see Goodwine sometimes. I mean, those guys early in the game were popping against Missouri. Again, Goodwine had a safety and couldn't wrap up Roberts. He had a safety. But you need consistency. I think what you brought up a very interesting point, too. In these last two games, and this isn't questioning, but you got to find another level of toughness. You just do. You're not out there not being tough, but maybe, and I heard someone say this before, I think it was about Tebow. Some guys want to win. Some guys ache to win. So there's different levels of, I'm going out there busting my hump. I'm trying to be tough.
It's the guy that hates losing more than he likes winning.
Exactly. You've got to find that next level of your innards right now if you're South Carolina on both sides of the ball at the line of scrimmage at this point.
Lots more on the Gamecocks coming up for you in our Gamecock Notebook in just a few minutes' time. Continuing with our integrated media headlines of the day. Again, huge news in Southeastern Conference and really all across the college basketball world. If you have not yet heard, Bruce Pearl has resigned effective immediately as the men's basketball coach at Auburn. He is going to move into what they call an ambassador's role in the athletic department, and he will be a special assistant to the athletics director. His son, Steven, who has long been with him as an assistant, will immediately take over, and he is not an interim head coach. He is Auburn's new head basketball coach. Stephen Pearl today signing a 5-year deal to take over for his father. Bruce is now 65 years old, and there is, as I said, rampant speculation, although maybe it's being tamped down. I'm not sure, but there is a lot of speculation that Bruce Pearl is going to run for the United States Senate. He has been asked about this before. Tommy Tuberville, who, of course, was Auburn's football coach and is currently one of the 2 U.S. senators from Alabama, has decided to not seek re-election for the U.S. Senate. I don't get it. And instead, he wants to be the governor of Alabama. Again, nothing wrong being governor of Alabama, but I don't know why you don't want to stay in the U.S. Senate. But that's another story altogether. That's just me. That's just me. But I don't know. Could be a host of things here. But for 11 years, Bruce Pearl has been the head coach at Auburn. He's done fantastic work. Again, they won the SEC 3 times, 2 tournament championships, 2 Final Fours. Tons of guys put into the NBA. And winning at about a 2 out of every 3 clip, and that includes the early years. So really, they've been doing much better of late when it comes to winning percentage. So
now I'll
really
just throw this out there because this just hit me when we were talking about Steven getting the 5-year deal.
Yeah,
is part of this the timing to where they've got to turn to your kid like Bo Ryan with Greg Gard, with Bill Guthridge and Dean Smith?
You could do it for a year. You don't have to give him a 5-year deal.
But I wonder for the consistency of the program.
I think you could say. I mean, I get your point, but I would say they must feel incredibly comfortable doing this.
Because I'll be honest with you.
Because I think you could say, look, if it's either that or they've known for a while and it becomes public today.
Yeah, is this the whole? This has always been the plan, and we just didn't know the plan. That too, right? Maybe this was always going to be the plan that when I step down.
Maybe.
I'm grooming my son to be ready to take over.
Maybe. Yeah. And again, I got no problem with that. But if this was sudden and this happened over the weekend and Bruce is just sitting on the back porch and is like, you know what, Steven, I don't want to do this anymore. You want to do it? Sure, Dad, I'll do it.
And then you give him a 5-year deal?
Yeah, you don't do that. So, I mean, you could say
That's why
he's
I feel
taking
like-
over as an interim coach for a year. Then we'll see how it goes. And Steven's, from what I understand, a good recruiter as well. So he has relationships. And again, he's been with his dad a long time.
And that's where I'm going too. Like, remember, Guard was with Bo Ryan for a long time.
Yeah.
Guthridge was with Dean Smith for a long time.
Yeah.
And this also goes with, this is my son. How much of this could be also with the idea that, my son in Auburn, look, would get Auburn. Bruce Pearl, you've never had more successful
No,
program.
you owe him a little something, and this
so
might
maybe
be a
you
way
go,
to repay
you know
it.
what? We're going to give your son a shot to do this because, we'll take your advice on this, Bruce, because we have such deep respect for you. But look, I hope he does well. Good for him.
We'll see. We'll see.
Find out. How much you get in a year?
And
didn't see
again,
that part.
there's a lot of speculation out there, not being reported necessarily, that he's running for U.S. Senate, but the interwebs blew up with, here's why. Because at first my initial thought was, oh, man, is this a health thing?
I thought it was a health
thing. And I
thing
quickly
right
went in to look, and it's like, nope, no health thing.
Mm-mm.
So,
And nothing he used to do is everything. You can do all that now.
right, yeah.
So it's not like something running from the NCAA or anything.
No. So who knows?
Maybe it is as simple as the politics thing.
Yeah. Or maybe he's 65 and has made a
Probably want to
bunch
give
of
it up.
money and just like, you know what? I got a boat.
Yeah, but but your point though, then you go, you know what? I decided over the weekend I was sitting out back, knocking down a Camel with no filter, and knocking down maybe a little bit of cognac, and I decided, what the hell, I'm done.
I'm going to tell you this.
Nobody's going to have cognac with a Camel.
If you're smoking
right
Camel unfiltered, you ain't drinking cognac. You got yourself a fine, like $50 cigar.
Oh, you're doing a Cuban. Oh, yeah. But I just don't think that was because, to the point, you're not giving him a 5-year deal. If this just happened over the weekend.
Myrtle, bring me some more cognac.
Do you know anybody named Myrtle anymore? My grandma was named Myrtle. That's really her name. Her name was Myrtle.
No.
I don't know.
Do you know anybody?
No.
I know no one named
I
Myrtle
know
but
Myrtle
my
Beach.
grandma.
Yeah.
I know Myrtle Beach. That's it.
I don't really know this person, but a friend of a friend's sister's name is Blanche.
Oh, Blanche. I don't know Blanche either.
I know a Blanche.
I know a guy I went to high school with.
Is his name Myrtle?
No, but he has a sister named Mamie.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
I know a
See,
Miss
yeah, maybe.
My family
I
has
know
all
one.
those bad names. Myrtle, Beulah,
I know a Beulah.
Athalie.
I don't know any Beulahs.
Yeah. I mean,
But I-
Jolene.
Jolene.
Rose.
Man, after Dolly wrote that song, nobody should have been named Jolene
No,
anymore,
not
right?
after that. Not after that.
Anyway, there you go. So Bruce Pearl is out. And finally, we mentioned it earlier, but Nick Bosa, the All-Pro for the San Francisco 49ers, it is today confirmed that he tore his right ACL. As I said here, according to this report from Nick Wagner, who covers the Niners for ESPN, the tear is clean, but Bosa will still require season-ending surgery.
Second time, man.
Yeah, he tore
It's a
his left
shame.
one. This is his right one.
Dude can play,
But
too,
he'll be
man.
back and
What
good
a
to go.
shame.
But the Niners are 3-0.
You're 3-0,
So
man.
there you go. And do we have Monday Night Football tonight?
Yeah, we do.
All right.
Lions at
Lions and
the
the
Ravens.
Lions and Ravens in Baltimore.
I'll take what's the spread? I'll take the Ravens.
I think it's 4.5.
Well, that might be on the Jay versus the internet. So.
Yeah, it is. Real quick on that, someone made a really good point in the world of NFL yapping. So let's say the Lions would beat the Ravens.
Okay.
The Ravens would drop to 1-2 on the season, correct?
Okay.
You know who the Ravens play next week? 1-2 Kansas City.
Okay.
So conceivably, 2 of your Super Bowl favorites, one of them could be 1-3 after four games.
Don't worry about it.
I don't know. I think the Ravens win tonight.
They will.
And then they play Kansas City, which will be a very interesting game.
Kansas City just needs to get their receivers back. They were
That's
fine.
what it feels like.
They were fine yesterday. But the Giants.
Giants are awful.
It's the Giants.
Giants are awful.
It's the Giants.
What happened to the Giants?
But you know what? Here's the sad thing. You think the Giants are awful. Russell Wilson hung a 450 burger on the Cowboys. How bad's the Cowboy pass defense?
Yeah. Well, the Bears beat the Cowboys, too.
Caleb Williams looked like a
Didn't
Hall of
see that
Famer,
one.
dude.
I mean, Russ got booed on his own field.
I know.
That's our integrated media headlines of the day. More of your calls, more from Coach Beamer, and our Gamecock Notebook. That's next. All right, a few more days of hot weather, and then it'll be time to watch all your favorite football games outside for a while, or at least be outside and enjoy it. Well, couple those things together. Integrated Media installs amazing outdoor home theater systems. They look and sound just like anything indoors. Trust me on this. They can even install in-ground subwoofers if you really, really want to go next level. Then you should do that. 803-948-8327. The Samsung Terrace TVs, the Sonos outdoor speaker systems built to be outdoors in our environment all year long. You don't have to cover them up. You don't have to worry about them. That's it. You don't have to worry about them. So whether it's around the pool, the back porch, the back deck, the patio, wherever you want it, Integrated Media installs amazing outdoor home theater. Enjoy football, enjoy the weather, never miss a minute when you're out by the grill. 803-948-8327 for all your home theater needs. There is no one better to work with than my friends at Integrated Media.
Yeah, just really, really, really disappointing. I mean, we've said it all week. You got to get 11 hats to the ball on this guy and tackle him and to give them credit. I mean, when you run for 285, you run for 285, but a lot of those are because of, missed tackles or losing leverage or whatever it might be. So all 11, all 11 got to get there.
Shane Beamer on the missed tackles. Again, depending on the tally, probably around 20, 21 missed tackles by South Carolina defenders on Saturday as the Gamecocks fall 29-20, drop to 0-2 in conference play, 2-2 overall. Carolina installed as an early 6.5-point favorite against Kentucky, at least at both ESPN Bet. Saw FanDuel had that same number. I haven't checked in a while to see if it's changed this afternoon. I'll do that for you in a second. In the meantime, John wants to weigh in. He's up next on the AAA phone lines. Hey, bud.
Fellas, I cannot remember a time where Carolina looked that pathetic trying to tackle it in space. I mean, just the Roberts touchdown, I think it might have been Gerald Kilgore who I think, and this kind of exemplifies it, it was right there at the end that kind of sealed it. He just lowered his shoulder and tried to shove him out. That is just, for lack of a better word, a head scratcher because, you've been out there the entire night and they've just been destroying you, and you think lowering your shoulder is going to do the job? I don't know. But I think the most frustrating thing about this one, Jay, is that it wasn't like Carolina just got the brakes beat off of us. We were in the ballgame, as Shaden pointed out. We were leading at the start of the fourth quarter. Yes, the play call there on 1st and goal from the 2 is, one of those that makes you want to pull your hair out. But, looking back at the video that Jack Beltry put up on Twitter, if Faison makes that block, the play is there.
Sure.
So that's another thing that makes you just.
And Faison's got to make that block, John. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'll let you finish it, but that's the thing. Like, and that's the kind of thing, in my opinion. And this isn't to him specifically, but if I'm an offensive coach, I've got to say, son, I got to trust you when you don't have the football, especially in that situation. And so, what does that do moving forward?
And by the way, Jay, what gets lost in all of this is that the receivers that they put out had a pretty good night.
Yep.
Mazio had one that went through his hand. And look, somebody said that Lenoris was rushed on that play, but when you look at the replay, the ball went through his hands. He's got to at least put his hands on the ball if he can. But Lenoris was dropping some dimes in there the other night. I mean, there were some passes that you go back and watch. Those are some of the most beautiful passes you will ever see a quarterback throw. I think of one down the sideline. I think it was to Jacobs, and then of course the one that set up 1st and goal from the 2. That was beautiful. The 3rd and 33 to Harbor that got him, that made it 4th and 4. And again, these are the things that just make you want to just go up against the wall and just start smashing your head against it, because it's not like we're a bad team.
Well, there's the point, John, and thanks. That's just it. And that's one of the themes that Terry and I have had today about this game. And I understand in the moment, and that's why I do my level-headed best to maybe not do a whole lot in or right after the game. And I've learned this through my career. I know where emotional levels are. This is not a bad football team from a talent perspective. South Carolina has had teams that have had a considerably lower amount of talent. That doesn't excuse losing. But to Shane's point, to the point we're making, to the point you just made, John, which is correct and a good one, you were in this football game despite basically kind of sucking all night, which tells you, because Terry, you and I know each other well now. To me, the number one thing, and as I joke sometimes, there's 10 things that matter in college football. 7 of them are recruiting. My point is, you need more good players than the other guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know some of you might push back on what I'm about to say, and that's fine. I do not believe that the 2 teams South Carolina just lost to have a better collection of talent. But they were better coached on the night, and they beat South Carolina. and they exploited what South Carolina can't do. And that's on South Carolina's coaches, but it's also on South Carolina's players because you know South Carolina's coaches have said, guys, it ain't like Clayton has suddenly forgotten how to coach his
Remember
guys.
what that defense was last year?
Yeah. You know?
Right.
And whatever you might want to say about where Mike Shula comes from and what he's done and not done or whatever, Mike Shula's coached a long time. Shane's been coaching now a long time. Sean Elliott's been around a long time. They know how to coach. For whatever reason, there's a disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, despite that, and again, I've a 294-yard discrepancy in rushing.
Mm-hmm.
And with 5 minutes to go, you were only down 6.
Yeah. You got talent, man. You got talent.
So you fix these things change. Now, that's not to make any you can feel how you feel.
Yeah.
And I hope you sense the frustration in my voice because that's what's getting me. This is 3 weeks in a row now of like, you know what's wrong. But and if you're not going to fix it after a while, then I may pull back on some of the things I say about the talent and go, you know what? It's just not getting through.
Well,
I don't know.
Here's where it goes, and you're right. Like Clayton White, all of a sudden didn't forget how to coach defense. He's not going out there going, fellas, why are we tackling guys?
Yeah, just do what you feel like.
We got to stop doing this tackling thing. I mean, Shane's the same coach who was 9-3 last year, right?
Right.
So.
And the same coach Terry who was 3-3 last year.
Right. So point
just saying.
Being,
just saying.
And we've been talking about this. These changed teams always have gotten better later in the year. And look, last year they won a 6-game heater to end the season. Yeah. We don't know where this train is going, but we know it has to change and get better. And that's where, if you're coaches, that's where you step back and go, okay, why isn't this connecting? We got talented players who in moments are doing nice things on the field. Why can't we get it to be consistently happening? Then you step back and say, okay, what do we have to change to make this get through, right? Whether it's streamlining things, maybe tweaking things, going, maybe we shouldn't ask these guys to do this. Maybe they're better at doing that. We've seen that. Clayton going to the 3-3-5, how much that helped. Marcus, we took away that damn Denny's menu and marked it up and gave it back to him. Maybe that's where Shane's got to get this year, and we'll just start, like, offensively. Maybe that's where it has to happen to start with. That's where you've been consistently having problems all year.
Look, I will, again, push back on me if y'all want to. You two here in the booth, anybody out there listening, I am going to label Saturday. In terms of the goals that you have still set for yourself and that you can still attain, this is a must-win game. It's not that close to it or because it's September, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to be South Carolina football and you're going to continue to tell people that you can achieve bigger things, this is a must-win game.
Well, you got to beat Kentucky.
You have to beat Kentucky.
For many reasons. What you just said, and here's the other one. Look at the schedule.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, this is a must-win game on the very, very immediate now level and on the big picture level. You have to win this game because you just lost, as I mentioned earlier, because you made a great point about Hunter and Hunted. I'm telling you, Vandy, Missouri, Kentucky hunt South Carolina when it comes to football. They think they're better than us. We're going to show them that they're not. Vandy and Missouri just beat you. And, again, you've only beaten Eli once. It's crazy. Right. And really, I'm not saying they should have beaten you. Carolina won the football game. But, dude, that was that close.
Yeah, that was something, man.
It was that close.
And here's the other part of what you're saying is, beating Kentucky also, there's this thing called confidence in life. Yeah. And you've lost 2 straight now. You got to get it together, get a win, and feel good about yourself walking off the field.
You need to beat Kentucky.
Yep.
Then you have a week off.
You do.
And you need to fix you because then, oof.
It's
LSU,
game on after
Oklahoma, Alabama are a whole different animal. A&M, man, that's the next
Didn't they beat Notre Dame?
They did. They're scoring a lot of points, too. All right. Drive around the SEC coming up here. Some big news for the future schedule. Keep it here. U.S. Brick has been in business across the Midlands of South Carolina for more than 90 years now. Mikey Johnson and his team also have plants making brick in Alabama, Tennessee, and Indiana, but their roots are right here in Columbia. And with that in mind, they have opened their brand new exterior design center down at 300 UG Street, right near the Founders Park, Carolina Baseball. They've got so much in there for you. It features dedicated workspaces, project planning resources for you, for your contractor, for the folks that you're working with to get everything done. Visitors can stop in and see the folks in the showroom Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. In there, they've got all kinds of brick, natural stone, whether it's for your house, patios, features out back, like brick walls, fire features, you name it, they've got it in there for you. Great local people that have been doing it for more than 90 years. That's the people at U.S. Brick.
All right, again, the traffic lights, an issue at Bull and Elwood in downtown Columbia. Also, Fort Jackson Boulevard, I-77. Hardscrabble Road at Clemson Road, there's an accident. Sparkleberry Lane and Two Notch, an accident there as well. US 176 Broad River Road at Seminole Road. And then our typical long-term construction, I-126 between Hugie and I-26. I-26 between Bush River Road and Old Sandy Run Road, and I-20 and I-26 between exit 64 and 65. We'll come back, drive around the SEC here on the post-game show on the game.
All right, welcome back in. It is Drive Around the SEC time, and we have some breaking news that is kind of coinciding with our SEC news. Jay, Terry, Jalen hanging out. If you missed it this morning, the great Chris Lowe, long-time ESPN college football reporter, now working with On3, moved over to those guys right before the season. Chris is the best, and he's a Rock Hill guy. So
Nice.
I think David Cloninger from Rock Hill.
I never heard that before. David never speaks of Rock Hill.
No. I think he, I don't know. David
I don't think he's never told me that.
He's never told anybody that.
No.
He keeps that to himself. He really doesn't talk much about Rock
I might
Hill.
ask David if he's from TK.
I'll ask him tomorrow.
David really doesn't talk about any of that stuff.
David would punch me in the throat if he was here right now.
Now, how could you?
I got friends that grew up in TK. So anyway, if you're York County, you know it's all good. It's all good. Anyways, but Chris Lowe has put out, and he's gotten it as confirmed can be, the annual opponents for Southeastern Conference football teams for the next 4 years. South Carolina's will be Georgia, Florida, and Kentucky. And the reason I say that this is as confirmed can be, we told you last week the Southeastern Conference was going to have a special tomorrow night on the Southeastern Conference Network, at which time they would reveal not only the annual opponents, but everybody's schedule for the next 4 years. So they're going to, so we're going to know, now we might not know, that, hey, on September, whatever, 2028, I don't know how specific we get with the schedule, but we will know, if nothing else, guys, we will know the opponents and the year. And from what I understand, for those of you keeping score at home, next year and in 28, Carolina, that'll be Carolina's 5 home game year, because the SEC is working with the 4 schools that have the ACC opponents to make sure that on the years when they go to that school, so in other words, Carolina goes to Clemson in 26, that Carolina would have a 5th home game in conference play that year. So trying to do what they can to help balance out the home scheduling. But Carolina's going to play Georgia, Florida, and Kentucky. Now, Chris has put everybody's out.
By the way,
Yes.
Texas.
Texas, but Texas is loving that. And here's the thing, competitive, what they've done, if you're wondering, because they're, and listen, as we've said, nobody's going to like this 100%, and somebody's always going to complain about something, and that's all well and good. The Southeastern Conference, first and foremost, did everything it could to preserve its biggest rivalries, and then tried its best to use some level of competitive balance based on the last 5 football seasons. So if you're wondering, like, man, Carolina's getting Georgia and Florida, well, over the last 5 years, Florida hadn't been that good.
Florida has not been Florida, and that's the point.
And so that's it's not like you can think of Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer's Florida, but that's not who you now. And somebody may build it up to that again at some point. But as we speak, and with what they've been doing under Billy Napier, that's not who they are.
No.
So
I said the thing about Texas because Texas has 3 teams who hate them with a fury
and
of
quite
hate
honestly, I look
them.
at Texas. Texas gets A&M, Arkansas, and Oklahoma.
Yep.
I have a hunch that doesn't change next time.
No, I don't think it changes either.
And quite honestly, there could be a couple that may, I don't want to say may never change, but let me start. Like Alabama has Auburn and Tennessee, duh. They also have Mississippi State. Why, you might ask? Well, trivia, and some of you already know this. What are the 2 closest campuses to one another in the Southeastern Conference? Alabama and Mississippi State.
How funny is that?
Yeah. So I mean, so that's one. That's
Which
one
makes
of the
sense
reasons.
logistically,
And then
absolutely.
again, you're not going to give. It's like some people said, how could they not have Alabama, LSU? Well, are you going to really give Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, and
No,
LSU? Like
that's
you
what I'm saying.
can't. You got to have competitive.
They got to balance it, right?
So, and they're going to see LSU twice in a 4-year span. Arkansas gets Missouri, Texas, and LSU. Auburn gets Bama, Georgia, Vandy. There will be a quiz later. Florida gets Georgia, Carolina, Kentucky. Georgia gets Auburn, Florida, Carolina. Kentucky gets Florida, Tennessee, Carolina. LSU gets Arkansas, Mississippi, and A&M. State gets Ole Miss, Vandy, and Bama. Missouri gets Arkansas, A&M, and Oklahoma. Again, just like Texas. I do see that one changing.
Yeah.
Oklahoma gets Missouri, Ole Miss, Texas. Ole Miss gets State, LSU, Oklahoma. Carolina, I told you, Georgia, Florida, Kentucky. Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky, Vandy. Some people are saying Tennessee's is too easy. Well, listen, those 3, I think we knew all along is what Tennessee was going to get.
Sure.
I mean, you got the Bama game, got to play that one. Kentucky is a century-plus old border rival in every sport those schools play,
and then
Vandy's in state.
Vanderbilt.
Exactly.
So I mean, again, Vandy isn't what Vandy was, or what this, but that's you gotta look at it like that. As we said, A&M, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. That's Texas. A&M, LSU, Missouri, Texas, and Vanderbilt, Auburn, Tennessee, and State. And again, those are the annual opponents. They are not permanent. Now, some of these obviously are never going to go away, so they will be permanent, but they've always been permanent. The SEC in 4 years can change this. I think some of these will remain. I don't know what the landscape of college athletics will be in 4 years. No. Might the SEC absorb schools from other conferences by then? Who knows? I don't predict that. On that note, by the way, even though we're in the drive around the SEC, let me give you the other breaking news that just came down a little while ago, and that is that the Atlantic Coast Conference today has decided to go to a 9-game conference schedule, and they are also, like the SEC, mandating at least one more game against a Power 4 opponent. Jim Phillips, no relation, the commissioner of the conference. We have been incredibly intentional throughout our discussions on ACC football, including the future of our conference schedule. Today, the athletics directors of the 17 football-playing institutions overwhelmingly supported, they didn't say unanimous, overwhelmingly supported a regular season schedule that includes 9 conference games and a minimum of 10 games each year against Power 4 opponents. This positions the ACC as one of only 2 leagues committed to having every team annually play a minimum of 10 games against Power 4 teams. The other, of course, is the Southeastern Conference. There will be additional discussions and more details to be determined, but today's decision showcases the commitment and leadership of our ADs in balancing what is best for strengthening the conference and their respective programs. As specified in the conference constitution, the model will be presented to faculty athletics representatives for formal adoptions. So there you go. That is Commissioner Jim Phillips with a statement from about an hour ago that the ACC is going to 9 conference games and a mandated 10th. I hope, I'm dead serious, I hope this keeps the Atlantic Coast Conference together. Again, what happened to the Pac-12 did not need to happen. We don't need to have the ACC blow up.
No.
I now with Miami getting better. By the way, I threw this out today too, and I know we're kind of blending topics, but today Virginia Tech discussed, and next week they'll take it up officially, a proposal to add $229 million to their athletics budget over the course of the next 4 years. So roughly $60 million additional dollars per year. Right now, their budget is about 120. So they want to take it up to about roughly 180.
Well, their AD basically, for lack of a better term, went begging a few months ago saying, look, if you want us to play with the big boys again, you got to give us some money to go play with the big boys because
if they stay where they are, this is just my opinion, but if they stay where they are and something negative happens with the ACC in the next, let's just say decade, I don't like saying this, and I'm not, again, no prediction, but it wouldn't surprise me to see Virginia Tech be left in the cold like an Oregon State or a Washington State. I know what Tech has been, and I would not want that for them. But I could see it.
And
so they need to do this.
They've got to do it. And real quick, the thing about the ACC, and we all know this, what's going to keep the ACC together is money.
Yeah.
That's what, I mean, if Jim Phillips can figure this out to keep them some of the big time schools in that league financially happy, the ACC will stay together. If not, who knows?
Right.
We got Cal at least.
That's right. I do have a poll question running. I'll give you some results on what you guys think of Carolina getting Georgia, Florida, and Kentucky as the permanent opponent, or at least the annual opponents in football. I got to do it too. We're all guilty of it. It's not permanent. Annual for 4 years, and you'll see everybody else home and away over the course of that same 4 years. That's the drive around the SEC. Updated poll question and a little Jay versus the Internet coming up. All right, welcome back in. It is almost Jay versus the internet time. Speaking of versus, got a couple of things here. First off, man, we got to do better. We just got to do better. It was a terrible week for everybody, especially yours truly in the wild card showdown. My worst in a long time. But congratulations to Robert. I didn't even have to look at the tiebreaker because Robert beat two of us. He went 2-3. Elijah went 2-3. Angel, who played with us, went 1-4. Terry Ford went.
I don't even want to hear
1-4.
Oh,
Jay Phillips.
No, you didn't.
Winless?
Did you take a bagel?
Went 0-5.
Oh,
wow,
Lord.
So I had Illinois plus 6.5. They almost covered.
Yeah, they're close.
Hey,
by the way,
dude. Indiana people, Ben Portnoy. I apologize.
I will tell you.
If y'all
man.
go beat Iowa, I think, but I didn't see that one coming.
I didn't either.
I took Florida to cover the 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen. Again, I had the Rams plus 3.5. They were covering until they weren't.
Man.
Steelers didn't cover. And wait.
No,
Steelers covered.
Steelers covered.
Oh,
Yeah, they won by 7.
Yeah, Steelers covered.
All right, sorry. You know what then?
Did you go 1-4?
You won?
I took the Steelers.
You did. So you know what? I missed. Oh, good. Live on the air. Pittsburgh. So I went 1-4. So you went 2-3.
You're just feeling good because I went 2-3. You're feeling good for me, right?
So anyway, I forgot to put a check mark on there. Live on the air, people. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Sorry about
good.
that. Good. Good. Phew.
You
That
feel
means I
better
didn't go
now?
over.
You feel better now?
I still went 1-4. And I had Nebraska plus 1.5.
I'm gonna tell you what, man.
And they lost.
We misread the room on Indiana, Illinois, and
Michigan.
No, I think I took Michigan. We all took Michigan, didn't we?
No, that was just my game.
Yeah,
that was just my game.
We
were all talking about it. But that was just my game.
We misread the room huge on Illinois, Indiana, and Texas Tech. But I would have taken Utah.
Texas Tech is great.
Who had that one? That was Elijah, and Elijah
took Utah.
I would have taken.
I would have taken Utah too,
and it was at home.
Yeah, man, I was. Whew.
But yeah, Indiana.
Indiana.
Again,
I'll give props, Coach Sig.
My tip of the cap to
absolutely
Kirk Signetti.
I agree.
I don't know what kind of hair dye he uses, but working.
It's worked.
Yeah,
it worked.
That's a good looking shade.
That is.
I don't think that's natural, but
you think it's spray on?
No, I think it's spray. It's probably expensive.
Is that just for men?
It's expensive.
You don't think it's just for men? You get it at the Walmarts?
It could be.
No.
I don't know. All right, what do we got?
All right, you ready? Hit some music for us there.
I don't know if we have
Jalen.
music for this.
Oh, he's got it. We're ready.
Okay. All right, good. Let's go.
We got to go to the internet computer because somebody wiped out our stuff in our computer.
Dave.
It's all right. I'm going to watch the surveillance footage. All right, Ravens giving the Lions 4.5 in Baltimore. Where are you going, Jay?
Ravens win by 7, so give me Baltimore.
Over under for this game. These are two teams that scored a ton of points. Over under 53.5. The Ravens have scored 40 on for their first two opponents in each game. 53.5 the over under.
I'll go over.
Over. And finally, Derrick Henry was bottled up by the Browns defense last Sunday. The Lions go up 106 yards a game on the ground. Over under 80 yards for Derrick Henry.
Ooh. Wow. See, I could see like a 75-yard game and still be very effective. I'll go under.
You go under that for Derrick Henry.
I'll go under. Yeah. Again, 75 would still be a good night.
Good game.
Yeah.
Good game. Here's the thing. You know what's interesting? Henry was, again, shut down by the Browns.
Yeah.
Ravens still scored over 40.
Yeah. How about the Browns yesterday? And hey, I mean, Packers, did you know there was a game?
I mean,
for as great as they looked in the first 2 weeks.
We have tested the Packers' blood alcohol level during that game?
I think the Packers looked at Cleveland and went like,
you see what we done the first 2 weeks?
I mean, Cleveland's a top 5 defense with Myles Garrett. So
but the Packers should have looked better.
Yeah, the Packers. I mean, again, the Ravens played that defense, and they scored 40 in that game. Cleveland's defense is good, but if you're the Packers, you have no excuse to lose that game.
Jordan Love,
you got to win that game.
You know what? To his credit, he has gotten much better protecting the ball and not doing dumb things. I just think the Packers came in there expecting to win and didn't take Cleveland seriously.
They did. No, they did.
That's all it was.
That was.
But you know what? That's one of those games in a long NFL season that course corrects you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It happens. Is that it for us? All right.
Yeah,
We're almost out of here. All
There
right.
we go.
There it is. All right. Sorry about that.
We knew it was coming.
Again, thanks to all of you for weighing in today. I know it wasn't a fun one. Gamecocks, fix your problems. You fix a lot more. Shane talks tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Ryan Brewer will be with us at 3 o'clock. We'll have
One goal
plenty
for
of
this Saturday,
reaction.
pal.
And tomorrow night we
Beat
find out
Kentucky.
who everybody plays.
That's right.
So we'll have more on that for you too. Jalen, nice work.
Nice work, man.
For Terry, I'm Jay. Enjoy
Appreciate
the rest
you.
of your Monday. See you.